Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, you are one of the richest men in America. You own cars, boats, homes. What is the most precious thing you own?
Come with me. There's nothing more precious than my Coogis.
The Curry Collection, International Marketplace, downtown Detroit.
What do you think was going to happen when you did that?
When you took my shit.
Why? You didn't take enough to disappear. So.
And then you insult me by not even running.
Right. Like, why? I don't get it. And it was always, I didn't know. My mother says.
No. Some people
okay,
like
so you got.
by cop, like
I was just going to say, you just coined something. Suicide by hustler. Now, you know what that man was going to do to you when you did that shit.
Sure enough.
That was suicide by hustler.
Especially if he has a reputation.
No,
if he got a reputation for doing things to people, why do you think he wasn't going to do something to you?
Being in the county jail in the big city, you find out, like, you in there, and it's a lot of them, Kate, like, I'll be like, well, what you in there? Like, with the young guys, you talking to them, they're like, oh, you're around the hood, robbing everybody, and he popped up there, and they say, I did. Because some crackheads was going around, hey, everyone with a sack. Your turn. But one night, somebody catches his ass in that alley.
Right. Yep.
And it could have been anybody because he done robbed everybody.
Yep.
That's the beauty of it.
Yep. That's a
some
fact.
people you can't own and some people you cannot steal from.
That's
so
right.
robbing is bad. No, you stick a gun in my enemy. And I see you one night.
Oh, you robbed me, that's a whole different thing. Robbing my people is paramount to robbing me, so we right back where we started.
I didn't even let you guys rob in my neighborhood.
Robbing my customers is also paramount to robbing me.
Yeah, I
didn't let if my crew's operating here.
B-roll here.
Yeah. Okay, let's start them up.
Other little motherfuckers is running around operating. I didn't operate, like my crews operate here, I'm the only crew here.
Yeah.
Now if you got some little guy doing his little thing, some little guy doing his little thing, some little guy doing his little thing, that's cool.
You let people eat.
That's cool. I got no problem with
starve
that.
the man out.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. I sell dope.
Yeah.
We gonna meet there.
Are they?
You know what I mean?
Everything's ready.
If you got it, come with it.
Oh, when you say recording, I didn't
I'm not gonna run out.
All right, so we're
And
gonna
it's gonna
start
stay.
it off.
It's gonna stay good.
All right, we're going.
You know what I mean?
Roll. You ain't got to give them no clap.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so I want you to start, Courtney, and tell us where we're at and how you had a store here. And then as you get into describing how the 125 Mart was, you can kind of hand it off. You mentioned Blue and then let him go into Blue. Was it? Y'all are good.
Blue!
But you start us off with, this is where your store, you right across from the Apollo,
Yeah, so anyway, we right here, man. We on the block. I believe the address here is 260 West 125th Street, as I do recall.
Yeah.
This was the Mart 125. It was an incubator for black businesses back in the early and mid 90s. You know, and I look back on it with fondness because we had something a little special. A man who you familiar with, your man Blue.
Yes, man.
Blue had the first
Legendary Blue.
Legendary Blue. Please don't get it confused and get it all twisted. Legendary Blue. As soon as you walked into the Mart 125, Blue had a place called Black Men's Jewelry.
Yep.
And it was a beautiful thing. Blue and his crew, you would see brothers setting diamonds, cleaning jewelry, selling rope.
Youngish guys, or?
I mean, Blue is now Blue is early 60s.
You gotta be a couple years older
like
than
63.
me, 'cause I'm 59.
And Blue was cleaning his money because Blue was he went away for some.
I didn't know at the time. I knew, but I didn't know. It was obvious that he was somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
everybody fucked with
mean,
Blue.
Biz Marquis would come through, from Tyson coming through to Carl the Truth Williams, the boxer would come through.
Yep.
Kid Capri. He knew it was.
Niggas fuck with Blue.
Niggas fucked with Blue, for real, for real.
Blue used to do them. He used to do parties and shit.
The man who got all the controversy, who had that Bad Boy record, he was in his little orbit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it was a prideful thing. I was 2 stores down.
What did you have?
I started off with Joe Boxer shorts, and Dan Skin. The girls was all wearing the tennis outfits. I brought Lycra. A lot of you brothers enjoyment. I brought those Lycra stretch pants uptown.
Word?
That was me, for real, for real.
Oh, that's crazy.
I had the account from down in Columbus with the Israelis.
That's crazy.
So all that Dan Skin, all those Lycra cat suits.
Did you get off on that?
Oh,
Like, see that?
I killed the game with that.
Sidebar real quick, like,
Yeah.
y'all gotta really start paying attention, man. Like, everything that get to a bag ain't about glory. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all see how many people, how many women was wearing those pants, man? Still wearing those pants?
That body catsuit too was just
Bruh.
a monster item.
Bruh, like, niggas talk about getting to the bag, but they won't do certain things because they don't think it look cool. Like, man, somebody got rich off of the spools that they put the toilet paper on. Ain't nothing glamorous about it, but they got fucking rich.
And you then got, when Coogi first came out, and that's a Detroit connection. Tell us.
So right. So then, and just another shout out. You might remember the half Dominican Spanish guy, they called him Spanish half, had the Everex and the belly leather
Yep,
jackets.
I remember, dude. Yep.
He was right across the hall. So we had you had the jewelry shop. Then I came with the Coogi. So the backstory on the Coogis, craziness of the small world, right? Not the Currys of a big man and little man fame, but Dr. Curry, one of black pharmacists, second generation money.
He owned a large black pharmacy where they
Pharmacy.
made medication.
Really?
He set his sons up with this Coogi shop down in downtown Detroit in the International Center.
What year was that? I got my first Coogi in '86.
Oh, you and Bill Cosby was the only people wearing Coogis in '86. You know that, right?
Really?
Yeah. Because Biggie hadn't started talking about it.
Oh no, he was a little kid.
So when you was wearing Coogi, Coogi was Coogi, 86, 86. Only people, because Bill Cosby started wearing them on the Cosby shows when people conscious.
Yeah.
So at
They
that
didn't hit the streets till mid-90s.
so
Like with,
It was, yeah, we were done with him.
yeah, 93, 94, I'm having a conversation that if I could get some Coogis uptown, I could make a killing. My man, shout out to the Pope back in Detroit, he's got his own Vatican. The Pope in Detroit say, you know, my guy got the Coogis down in the International Center. I was like, man, you should holler at him for me. Long story short, he linked us up so I could get authentic Coogis, not just the sweaters, but the women purses, the women's stretch pants, shit that people didn't even know.
And what year was this?
93.
93.
93.
It's pivotal.
So now, and your man Blue is throwing a lot of parties too.
Yep.
what,
Blue?
Peter Shoe?
Peter Shoe was throwing a lot of parties. Blue was throwing parties.
Same crowd.
Same crowd.
Same crowd.
So when brothers would be throwing a party, they want to get fly. Blue had either had a brief little situation. It was something very. He was here, then he went away for a minute. I'm not naive to the world. Brother just disappear, then reappear, and his crew was still holding it down. Game recognized game. He was the man up here. I was like, I should pay tribute. Brother didn't come home. I gave Blue a Coogi sweater, a couple other Coogi accessories. The next day he wears it. He was having a party like next week, and I just would hear him. Niggas be all gathered around the spot. Hey man, y'all need to go get my man Joe from Detroit a play. Fuck going downtown buying them Coogis. My man got them Coogis. And when Blue spoke, people listened. Start selling like 10 Coogi sweaters a day, man.
And
at 400 a wop.
Yes, sir.
At 400 a wop, I'm selling 10.
What were you in town? Why were you even in New York?
Now the thing is, I'm in New York because Pop's Pakistani people had a fabric place down off Chambers Street. And a lot of times, if one of their carriers wasn't coming in, the people, Shauna, Trina, the crew would come. They'd bring the bag, they bring the payment to me. Me being versed with people of ethnic backgrounds and knowing how to not pretend to be a legitimate businessman, I'd get a Pakistani people's money to their people down. So
you're money laundering.
I am, according to the authorities, would describe that as money laundering.
Right.
But, you know, we've been at this a long time. You can't just be, I can't be living in New York. I got a loft on 121st Street. I'm living in a high rise in Fort Greene, and I'm supposed to have no visible form of income. So no, so I'm like, Pop, the cover is set me up with a shop.
But did this start making significant money? Was it profitable?
It was. Just I was puffy before puffy. But you
Meaning
kids,
what?
no, meaning the nightclubs, the models, the blow, yeah. See, because he didn't have no money back then.
No,
No, he had no money back then. Nah, niggas up here, y'all was getting to it up around these parts.
Yes,
What
sir.
were you doing at this time, Kafari? Were you operating in Harlem at all?
I was in
93,
I was
92,
in
93,
I was in
94,
B-Mall.
95, you was in Baltimore?
Yep.
Would you come back up here to like shop or see people or
Well, you had to be up here every Thursday, you know.
to turn the money?
Yeah. So.
And none of these national chains were there. There was
Nah,
no
hell
boost.
no.
There was
Like
no
that.
boost there. There was
I
no.
was just telling my wife about this.
There was no Red Lobster.
when
Comedy night was
we used
still
to
at the
come
Apollo,
we used to
though.
come through here. Right.
That was the highlight of.
Right.
That was the highlight.
Yeah, comedy night at
Comedy
the
night
at the Apollo,
which is across
which is
the street.
right there.
Yeah.
That was some highlight shit. I was telling my wife the other day that it was like Harlem Week every like Saturday night in the summertime. It would be from Lenox Avenue to St. Nick, maybe to Morningside because of M&G's, right?
Yeah. M&G's great breakfast place, best fish and grits that I ever got uptown.
Yeah,
that was my
it's
jizz on.
gone now. It's
that was
it's an urban clothing store now.
Chronicled
That
in
shit's
Belly. You remember the scene in Belly,
Yes,
the movie
yes,
Belly?
yeah.
Nas and them meet at M&G's down
that's
there.
right.
Yeah.
The If I Ruled the World video shot over there, I think they shot it on top of it or something.
How
like that.
integral was the underground portion of the economy to Harlem back in the 80s and 90s?
There is no Mart without the street money.
No, that's what this is
No,
about.
for real. It wasn't no Mart without the street money.
So we were talking about Sticks.
Sticks. Shout out to Sticks, the furrier. The furrier of 125th
So that's a
Street.
black fur. So you got black jeweler, black furrier. That's
Black
very rare.
high-end barrel with Coogis.
Because you got photos of those
Those furs
tell
that
us
you
about the furs.
and you were saying the photo shoots, bro. Shout out again to Sticks. Sticks
So-
was putting together the furs for your photo shoots.
When I did photo shoots, I did fashion shoots in my Don Diva magazine.
Right.
And I did a couple of like winter features, and so Sticks would provide all the furs, all types of furs, like crazy shit. I did the joint up in the Bronx with I had Ghostface, homegirl Mina. She was modeling back then, beautiful brown sister, and we shot it with my man Muhammad's store on 3rd Avenue. He's the cousin of Sammy, who started the whole like urban clothing store thing where they specifically focused on the upper echelon of urban
And
fashion. Sammy's.
that was what? Capadon was
That was two blocks down.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 blocks down.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is Dapper Dan was around here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, still. Yeah, 93.
For
Yeah,
sure,
Dap
for
was doing
sure.
his thing. Yeah, that was doing his thing. And Dap had been doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like you see, I got pictures with Dap Gucci on 86. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, I got you here. Let's talk about something. Let's go back to that
Sticks.
Sticks, and then I want to go into since we're talking about business and you had money to people older than you conceptualizing of being able to go into the general economy and the whole Jim Crow thing. So, but tell us about Sticks.
Yeah.
So Sticks was the brother who was the furrier here in Mama 25. And Sticks made a shoulder to shoe custom. I designed it myself. He brought the vision to life. Like he produced exactly what I described just by me describing it.
He's a bad man,
Bad
ladies
man.
and gentlemen. Yeah, he's a bad man.
It's black llama. This is mink. This is a level of mink, and I don't mean fur by mink. I mean mink, the animal. Right? Mink is not a word for fur.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's a mammal. I'm
Right.
sorry.
yeah. So he gave me. I got the double-breasted cowboy duster style.
Okay.
with the pleat in the back, split from the middle, and the collar that came up like this and crossed over. Me with the Russian hat.
So what, about 15,
right?
20 racks?
20.
20 racks, okay.
Right? I watched him stretch the skins. I watched him craft
so he would buy the mink.
No, he was a professional. He was a
You get
real
the raw
furrier.
mink or
No,
whatever.
Yes.
he was a craftsman for real.
And stretched, like I went in there. He's like I stretched the skins with him that went on my coat. Like, and it's a piece that I've not seen better than, man. Like,
you still have it?
Yeah. No, I gave it to him when I stopped. You know, when I really got into my vegan shit. I gave him my furs.
Oh.
And I lived in the South.
I wish I'd have known you then.
I gave him all of him.
Had a steak and had
And
a
he
coat.
didn't make all my furs.
Okay.
I had about 6 or 7 furs. He didn't make them. I had them made at different places at different points. I've been wearing furs since the early 80s. I used to be in skate fever, walking around dragging a raccoon coat. You know what I mean? Like,
street privilege.
you dig? Like,
Privileged
you know,
street child.
You know what I mean?
Privileged
So,
street child.
You know, that was like, he was the epitome of that fur game.
And he wasn't
fur
doing
work.
nothing criminal on the side.
Nah,
No,
he was a fur man.
He had a lot of criminal clientele.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
So
but he made everybody who had
Keep
some
talking.
really nice shit. Sticks is the one that made it. Sticks is definitely an artist with his shit, bro.
Oh, no,
the
no,
lights
no.
go out.
No, we need that on.
Oh, that's why that was turned.
Yeah. See, that's why you got to get a power bank. I thought he had.
I'm gonna have to cut these on manually.
Play too much.
Right,
Play too much.
Is it on?
Yeah.
it's all right.
So,
Go ahead.
Courtney, so
Right.
during a lot of this time, you would work jobs, you managed places. Cavario,
Actual jobs?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I worked throughout the
managed
majority
stores
of the
here in New
hustle.
York.
So right before I came here,
Fridays.
the Gap that used to be down where we were at just now, West 4th, right there by NYU. The Gap at World Trade. Yeah, Gap at World Trade, Gap at West 4th, and Flagship were part of my district. I was a district manager for the Gap.
Really?
I ran like $60,000 a day stores for the Gap. I had worked retail. I ran some boutiques for some Israelis. Shout out to Avi and Moshe on Columbus and 72nd.
So let me ask you a question.
I mean, I'm a professional retailer.
Did your father, after investing in essentially these private schools, essentially becoming a lawyer, you're out here clearly having success. You're able to, you're managing big stores. You're running your own thing. You clearly.
That was the pitch to get me funded. I was like, Papa, I'm running these white people stuff. Trust me, I'm ready to go on my own.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so was that what was your father's feeling towards moving into quote unquote all the way white people stuff, like becoming mainstream? Because he had a son that was clearly evincing the ability to run. You're in New York running a big store, like without him dumping too much money into it. Was there never a thought of going all the way legit? And why do you think you were never given, like it's like you never really had that?
Let me be honest. Pop a hustler. Pop was very neutral to ambivalent about going legit. My mom, and I'm being generous. Neutral to ambivalent. My father is who he is.
And these guys didn't need no money.
No.
But wait a minute.
But let me say though.
Yeah.
But my mom.
That was just the attitude.
But my mom was very motivating to see a little beyond the street dream. To say, you know, these other Jewish people, Italian people that we interact with, they all used to be in the streets. And they got their money right. And now they get to live good and they got these businesses and they get to hire their family. We should do that.
Right. So
we should do that.
What was the socio-cultural, historical difference of you're Jewish or Italian or whatever and you move into the mainstream versus why were the people, your family, were like, I mean, I'm lobbing you what we were talking about. Like, why was that idea so much more difficult, or why were they less enamored of the idea of let's go all the way legit? Did it have something to do with
The Jim Crow traumas.
I would say that was part. I mean, it sounds like, you know, whatever, but that's simply what it was.
Yeah.
for
I mean,
young
like-
people? They don't know what that or what is that? Again, what
The
did they
people
go
who
through?
raised us had come up with an idea of black men doing business with white men and partnering and advertising and white employees.
Doing
that
anything with 'em.
was not.
Doing anything with them.
Yeah.
Doing anything with them.
Did your older people in your families? I mean, what were their feelings towards white people? Negative.
Well, my
In
mother,
general,
my
maybe
mother,
not
my
in
mother
particular.
wasn't. She wasn't in any way bigoted in any way. She simply didn't like stupid people.
Okay.
But she wasn't bigoted like that. She fuck with you. You're a good person. She fuck with you.
On an individual level, but no desire to really be part of the white mainstream.
Nah. Like there was nothing. There was no indication of any of that kind of interest at all, man.
And there's a nuance of trust when you're living the lives we lived in the family structure.
Right.
You couldn't let all black people into our world.
That's
Least
right.
of all let.
Right.
Now, again, I think, shout out to the, God rest both their souls, Chuck Irving Goldfarb. There was some Jewish bail bondsmen that was dealing with Pops and Eddie that really gave them some mentorship. That said, that, you know, this is where we send our kids to school. Y'all should send your kids to school there. You know, y'all shouldn't be tying up all your money just in the silly stuff. Why don't you buy some buildings? I mean, they told Eddie to buy our McDonald's franchise. Eddie said, how much is it for this hamburger thing y'all talking about? They said $175,000, Eddie. Eddie's response was $175,000 for a hamburger joint? We couldn't see it. That was his $175,000. He said, Chuck, that sounds like a lot for a hamburger joint. It was a high-rise building right there at the Adams and Woodward, the Fife building.
Oh,
Chuck Goldfarb came to Eddie and my father, building high-rise building, downtown Detroit. $800,000. I mean, it's like a high-rise, like a 40-story building,
Yes,
really.
right on the corner,
Where is this?
down
Detroit.
like down.
How long has it been
down
there?
there. Forever.
It's in the 20s.
Well, like Detroit's glory days in the 20s.
Art
800,000.
Deco building.
800,000.
So there was nothing in it or anything like that?
It
There is now.
But there wasn't.
It wasn't.
Or was it totally banned, or was it just?
Because
cheap
I don't
apartments?
remember this building.
The office part it all
Well, you
got
wouldn't-
emptied out. It's right there,
By the Fox.
right now by the Fox Theater.
Fox.
It was a
Stadium,
Sibley's. Do you remember Sibley's
I don't
shoes?
remember this building though.
Sibley's was on the corner.
Well, you wouldn't have known it by name.
Right, and
Right.
it wasn't doing anything.
No.
Right.
Correct.
So
Oh, yeah, it didn't
Chuck
stand
and
out.
Irvin say, Eddie Courtney, I'm telling you guys, this is a family wealth building move I got for you guys.
What year?
72, 73.
Oh, early. It was still occupied then.
And they say, how much is it? Say 800,000. They said, but for 100,000 down, we'll get it financed, because they were them kind of people who, Purple Gang. They've been at this shit for long generations of cleaning up money, bootleg money, dope money. Same people that,
Disrupted the
back,
system.
to tie it back to New York, they were Nicky Bond's bail bondsmen. You know, Nicky owned property in Pontiac, Michigan, through a guy named Clarence Gale out of Chicago, a big fella. And these guys I'm talking about, when Nicky caught his case, these were the guys who represented Nicky on the bail bonds. So they were connected with all your Italian friends down in Pleasant.
Yeah, well, Pleasant.
You know, same clique.
Fat man.
The same clique. World small.
Up on Pleasant Ave.
Yeah.
In the Bronx, right?
But anyway,
No.
Oh, that's in Harlem.
116th Street.
anyway,
Oh, right. Yeah.
Eddie's response is, I just want the shoe store on the first floor. I don't want the rest of the building. They say, we can't do it like that. You gotta buy the building.
So talk about what were these traumas that might have made people that are otherwise
Because
very
Eddie
smart
and my-
and sophisticated
Eddie-
not see the vision of moving
Eddie
into
and
the
my
mainstream.
father, when they were kids, couldn't go to that part of Woodward.
Say that again.
Eddie and my father, when they were young, where the Fife building is at, they couldn't go to that part of the building. Later, my father would buy a place called the Cotillion Club, where the black elite, the brown paper bag,
Take a step back.
people our complexion were not allowed in. He bought it solely for the point that when he was a child, they would never have let a poor black boy from Black Bottom play with the black doctors and lawyer kids. And he just thought that was Pop's victory. When he bought the Cotillion Club, that you fancy, educated Negroes wouldn't let him even look at. And when it came up for sale, y'all didn't have the bread, he could just cash that shit out. I mean, there was no more legit than that to
Let
be.
me tell you something.
Yeah.
That right there, the feeling that comes from being able to exercise your will like that, when a person gets that, they don't want to let that go.
No.
And that's what it is to be a successful hustler.
Oh, power. Cash and not be answerable and...
It's like, what's better than this?
Okay, so now let's talk about you. You got that, you had this creative idea of Don Diva. I mean, it was a sort of an accident, but once it got going,
Absolutely.
you had a creative, so you eventually, your creativity, you were writing, you were taking photos, and it was a right on time idea and etc.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
But to me, the way that you
cultural
described
phenomenon.
the way you handled the business seems like, I know you're obviously a very smart guy, from the different things you said you did to people and who owed and this
How
and that,
old were you when you started that?
That you didn't,
Don Diva?
Yeah.
that you didn't want it to really succeed.
So you were just
You
about
didn't
the
really
age where you
want
really
it.
should have took it serious.
You didn't want to be like, oh, I'm totally legit. I made $1 million legal. You didn't really want that. It doesn't seem like it.
Really? Think so?
The way you said you were talking to them people and acting like, oh, I didn't know no better. You knew not. You couldn't.
What he was acting
scream
like?
on
He was
people.
acting like Dame Dash at Def Jam. You was Dame at Def Jam.
No.
You was Dame at Def
You was
Jam.
screaming on
didn't-
people because you
I
knew.
didn't.
You was Dame talking to Kevin
I
Lyle.
did not. See, but I didn't do it like they did, like, and it wasn't the same thing, like they were having temper tantrums and shit.
Right.
No, I was like, I need a check.
And y'all playing games.
What can I do? What can I do at some point for you? Okay, when the time comes, we'll do that. But I need a check. Hey, no problem, Gabar, whatever. It's like, I'm thinking, like, I mean what I'm saying. So,
Were you
know,
scaring them?
apparently it was not appropriate. Or when they said net 30 and 45 days later I still ain't got my check. I'm like, wait a minute, what did they playing with? You niggas got millions of dollars. How you playing with my money? I'm a little businessman. I need my money.
I get
so
it.
I call. I'm like, yo, where my check at? Oh, it's yeah. I was like, look, I'm gonna smack everybody from the security to the motherfucking CEO. I'm dead serious. I want my fucking money. Don't play with me. I'm thinking they're playing with me.
So you
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking that they're playing with me.
But
I said,
Al,
these squares is trying me.
You
That's
gotta,
what I'm thinking.
That transition seems
I
simple.
did not know better than that.
But to understand
Jeff Dixon.
the rules that we lived by,
He said, yo, you gotta.
the rules that we lived by no longer apply.
Right.
And it took somebody really smart told me this. They said, Courtney, street beef, street answer. Corporate beef, corporate answers.
That's good.
Street beef, we handle it street beef. This shit you in now, you sue them. That's it. You can't threaten them.
It take a long time.
Time
for
to
a nigga get around
round to. And when he said it, I was
I'm
like,
going to
yeah.
call the police
I'm gonna put a lien.
and
No.
I'm gonna make some kind of a citizen's complaint.
No, right.
I'm gonna bring them into my business. Like the idea that
I'm
it
not
just-
going to threaten you. I'm
Wasn't
going
there.
to. I'm going to
Wasn't
threaten
there.
you with legal remedies. I'm going to put a lien against your multi-million-dollar business till you cash me out on this $8,000 you owe.
I would imagine that they were probably thinking, I'd rather he's doing what he's doing.
Oh,
than
for
doing-
sure.
Than doing what you're talking
That's what we.
about.
That's what.
If someone at that stage in my development, because I was still very rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never had a job. I dropped out of school in 10th grade. I've been selling drugs since 1980. Like, I'm outside of my mind. I'm crazy. And I think I'm cool. But that just seemed more crazy to people. I didn't get that. It took me a long time to get that.
The way that others perceived you.
Yes, it
See,
took me a
you
long time
probably
to get that. It's
learned
like,
you because you were in
really
the regular
think I'm
areas.
crazy.
You knew like how to act a little more, but you didn't.
No, I did not. I did not know how to act, man. I thought that my behavior was appropriate. And
Even though you went to an art school and you were just saying that you
Still
started
10th grade.
yeah.
Not
that
for
was
long.
later. That was later
I mean,
when you got to the art school.
No, but that
when
was
it
10th
changed.
grade though.
So
That's
that's
what
when
changed
you
my
got
thought.
experience,
But
like you were
still-
saying to the black people who
Yeah.
talk like,
But
quote unquote,
still-
talk like white people.
But
whatever.
still, I'm in the street. I'm in the street. So
And when you owe, you pay. If you owe me, you pay me. If you owe me, you pay me.
that's always been me. Anybody's ever hustled me will tell you that.
Right. When you owe me, you pay
If
me.
you owe me, you pay me. That's it. And so
and
I
nobody
didn't-
told you this little, that the real thieves,
No,
the real
and
thieves wear
that's
suits.
another thing,
The
bro.
real thieves wear suits and ties.
Bro, that's another thing.
That you thought they were scam artists and that streetcar Molly shit.
Let me tell you something, bro.
No, the real crooks.
I really was naive to the square world, bro.
The two motherfuckers got some game.
Let me tell you something, bro.
They got game.
I did not. I said things like, "Yeah, man, I'm glad I'm not fucking around no more. I ain't got to worry about punching the motherfucker in the mouth no more." Whatever. I seriously, absolutely believed that. Said that to myself. I was happy. I was like, I ain't gonna have to punch a nigga in the mouth no more. I was happy about that, and I believed that. I had a perception, and I did not know I had this perception of the square world. I did not know that because I never thought about what I thought about them. I had a perception of them. I was pretty solid on what that was, and that was that.
Hey, you
My
got
thing
step.
My thing was that they followed all the rules. That was what I believed. I believed that their lives were very constricted by rules and guidelines, and the threats of being fired, things like that.
Found out otherwise.
Right. I thought that they did what they supposed to do. I did. I really thought that.
And you thought when they said 30-day net, they really was gonna pay you in 30 days.
I figured these motherfuckers got millions of dollars.
Right, but
All I need is $4,500.
nah.
Who were some of the executives you dealt with that might people ain't know their name?
Kevin Lau, shout out to my man Kev. Be more.
300 records now, right? That is joint.
300.
That's his joint, right? 300.
Julie Greenwald, right? Lior.
What were they like compared to high level street people? Or you didn't get to know them well enough?
Oh no. We hung out. We used to go to play pool and all kind of shit together, whatever. Like they were very sly, but I respected it. You know what I mean? Like I could see myself assimilating some of these ways. I didn't feel like I'm getting too far to the edge of my square because I'm taking on things from these, these record execs, whatever. Because some of the shit I'm seeing, I'm like, yeah, I recognize that. I can fuck with that. I can do that.
You understood pimping and hoeing and that.
Yeah, I was like, I can
you
do
saw
that.
them pimping artists and were like,
Yeah, I can do
I
that.
understand this game.
So you
Yeah.
just making them feel good.
Yeah,
You're
right.
making them feel safe.
And you keep all the bread.
Okay, and they not mad.
No.
All right, I'm not gonna rob them, but we're gonna get some money. We're gonna definitely get some money. So I was with it, and then I started hanging out and kicking whatever, and I started seeing other things. I was like,
Like
this ain't for me.
what?
Just weird behavior. I guess motherfuckers is on e-pills or whatever have you, whatever. And just things that I might have been hypersensitive to because it's so far removed from what I know. Right? But the behavior, so a lot of the behavior, I was like, these kids, I guess they soft. You know what I mean? And ain't nothing wrong with that. You soft, like, But some of the behavior and the body language, I was like, man, I'm raised by Jim Crow niggas. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're very like, what?
People talk slick to people in that world.
Oh yeah, they do.
They talk real slick. They will see that in you. That right. They don't be knowing. They don't be knowing. But you might have gave them a look to let them know that. But the flip part is like, we can't do too much business with him because he just gave me a look like he might.
I mean, they
From the makers of Motown Mafia, beyond the headlines, beyond the crime, beyond the glamours and gold, they don't run around the streets. They run the streets. Beyond Street Dreams. Documentary coming soon to Amazon Prime, Tubi, and Pluto TV.
Your cancer, you suck. You try to break us down, but you only strengthen our resolve. You bring pain and hardship, yet we respond with courage and unity. You may darken our days, but you cannot extinguish our hope. We will fight you with every ounce of strength we have, standing together, resilient and unyielding. Your presence is a challenge, but our spirit is indomitable. We will overcome.